Hi, hello, good evening. Welcome to Java Programming Lecture Series, lecture number 7. In this lecture, we'll discuss about how to read data from the keyboard. That means how we can enter input through keyboard, user input through keyboard, how it can be handled in Java. Today, we'll discuss in this lecture. So let's get started. User input from keyboard can be handled using scanner class in Java. There are other ways also, but this is the best way to handle user input using this scanner class. So today I'll talk about this scanner class to read data from the keyboard. So in Java, input from the keyboard can be accepted using a scanner class. It is a predefined class available in java.util package. We'll see how to import that package and how to use this class for reading data or input from the keyboard. So to use this scanner class, we must import, as I said, we must import java.util.scanner class at the beginning of the program. This is must. Otherwise, your program or Java compiler gives an error. Class not found error, it gives. Okay, so this is how we'll import java.util package by using the keyword import. And this should be the first statement in our Java program. Like a header files we include in C. Here we use the keyword import for importing or including packages into our program. Okay, so import space then java.util.star. Okay, so util is a package in which this scanner class is present, and star indicates include all the classes. Okay, so in util package there are other classes also. All the classes will be included into your program. This is one way we can include this util package, or we can also explicitly include only the scanner class into our program. Import java.util.scanner, end with a semicolon. So this Java package importing statement should end with a semicolon. This is the syntax, please remember. So once you import a scanner class into your program, now to use this scanner class, we need to create an object of this scanner class. We'll discuss how to create objects in further classes, but time being, to read data from the keyboard, okay, so we need to just know how scanner class works. Okay, so for that purpose, just remember creating an object for this scanner class. Okay, so the statement to be written is scanner. Scanner is a class name, that's why it should begin with a capital letter. Okay, scanner space and sc. Sc is nothing but object name, user defined name. This is equals to new. We create objects by using this keyword new and scanner, and within the parenthesis give the object name as system.in. System.in is the object associated with the console input. Okay, so your console input is associated with this object. Okay, so that means if we want to read data from the keyboard, console input is nothing but our keyboard. Okay, so then we need to include this system.in as parameter. We need to pass as parameter to this scanner class. Okay, so now this scanner class, this new keyword creates an object of this scanner class called as a sc. Now using this object, now we can read data from the keyboard. How it can be done, we'll see. This is the statement to create object of this scanner class. Okay, so how it can be, say scanner sc equals to new scanner and pass system.in as a parameter to this scanner class. So it should end with a semicolon. Now we can read data Okay, any data like integer number or double number or a character or a string, any kind of data we can read from the keyboard in this way. Okay, so an example I have given here, I'm reading an integer into a variable called as n1. Okay, so equals to, how it can be read, equals to sc dot next int, sc dot next int. That means this scanner class contains some methods for each data type. Okay, so I need to invoke that method. Okay, so sc dot next int is the method. Okay, see here, next int followed by parenthesis, it indicates method. So object dot method name we use in Java. So sc dot next int, this causes the console to wait for an integer, and once you enter an integer number through keyboard, that will be read and stored into the variable n1. So this is the statement which reads an integer number through keyboard. For example, I want to read a double number, double data type number. Then I can write a statement of this kind. Double d1 is equal to sc dot next double. Now the method to be invoked is next double. Please remember. So like this, we have different methods for each data type in scanner class. We'll see that, and each method has to be invoked using the object. sc is the object name here. Now these are the some of the methods present in a scanner class. Okay, see here, next int returns the next integer value. Next double, this method returns the next double value. That means if we want to read the type of data, then we need to use one of these methods. Accordingly, we have to use a method. Okay, say for example, if we want to read a floating point data, then next float is the method we need to invoke. Okay, so this returns the next float value. Next long returns the next long value. Next short returns the next short value. Next, just see here, next. Okay, so this returns the next word or a string value. That means if you want to read a string, just the method name is next. Okay, so sc dot next, when you call this method, it returns or it reads a string from the keyboard. That means whatever you enter through keyboard, that will be read as a string by this method, next method. Then next line, okay, it reads only a one word. Please remember, next method reads only a single word. And if you want to read multi words or a line of text, then we use this method. Next line returns the next multiple word string value. Multiple words you want to read or a line of text you want to read, then we use this method, next line. Okay, so like this, these are the different methods available in scanner. Apart from this, there are other methods also, but these are the required methods for reading different data types in through keyboard into our program. Let us look at some of the examples using these methods. Now see, int count is equal to keyboard dot next int. Okay, so assume that keyboard is a scanner class object. Okay, so then keyboard dot next int. This reads an integer number and stores into a variable called as a count. Similarly, say double distance is equal to keyboard dot next double. So this reads a double type data type value, and that will be stored into the variable called as a distance. If you want to read a string, a word, single word, if you want to read, then keyboard dot next. This keyboard is only scanner class object name, user defined name. Please remember. Okay, like our SC we have created in previous slide. So like this, user has created the object called as keyboard, just to indicate that I am reading from the keyboard. So keyboard dot next method reads a word and stores into the variable called as a word. Entire line of text if you want to read, then we can use this method, next line, keyboard dot next line. Then it reads the entire line. That means it reads all the characters until it encounters a new line. Once it encounters new line, then it stops reading, and that entire line of text will be stored into this variable whole line. So before using these methods, okay, so we must remember to give a prompt message for the user for the input. Okay, so like a printf statement we use in C language before scanf. Similarly, here we can use a system.out.println method before this next int, next double methods. Okay, so that user understands what type of input he has to enter. Okay, so how this prompt message generally will write by using system.out.println. Okay, so such kind of message, say system.out.print, enter an integer. Then user understands that he has to enter an integer, and then you call this method keyboard.nextInt. Then whatever he enters, this nextInt method reads and stores into this variable count. That's how we can read an integer number, right? So let us just write a simple program using these methods. So let us go back to our Java programs. So open the notepad here. Right, I'm opening a new notepad. Okay, right. So what we do is we'll write a program to find average of two numbers. Okay, so say for example, program to find average of two numbers. Average of two numbers or average of two integers. Exclusively, I'll say integers. Okay, so the first thing is we need to import the java.util.scanner, java.util.scanner class. Then end this with a semicolon. Okay, so this is the how we include a scanner class into our program by using importer keyword. Okay, so then define your class, say class average two numbers, average of two numbers. Okay, so here define your main method. So public static void main, then say string args. Now the first thing to be done inside the main method is create an object of this scanner class. So how we create an object for the scanner class name scanner, then object name sc equals to new, then say class name scanner, and that means we are calling the constructor here. Okay, so new scanner and pass system dot in as a parameter to this constructor. Okay, so this indicates system dot in indicates that read the input from the console input, that is keyboard. Now the object is created with this statement. Okay, so sc is our object. Okay, now ask the user to enter two numbers. Okay, so you give a message to the user, say system dot out dot println, say enter two numbers, enter two numbers. Okay, so he enters two numbers like say for example he enters two numbers like 10 20 he enters. Okay, so now we need to read 10 into first variable and 20 into second variable. Okay, so now what I do is I declare a variable, say int a is equals to, okay, so how can we read that? By calling the appropriate method. So here we would like to read an integer number. No, what is the method for that? Next int, sc dot next int, sc dot next int. Okay, so this reads, I'll write here comment. So this reads the first number, read the first number. You are informing the compiler to read the first number. It reads the first number and stores into the variable a. A now contains the value 10. Similarly, read the second number, say int b equals to, again call the same method sc dot next int. sc dot next int. Okay, so that means read the second number. Read the second number. We are informing to read the second number. Now the two numbers 10 and 20, it reads and stores into these two variables, a and b. Now a and b contains 10 and 20. Now calculate average of these two numbers. Okay, so how we calculate average of two numbers? A plus b by 2. Yes or no? A plus b by 2. So if you write a plus b by 2 in this way, then first b by 2 is calculated first, then a will be added. So then you will get a wrong answer here. So okay, first it has to calculate the sum, then divide the whole by 2. Okay, so like this, a plus b by 2, if you write, then first it calculates sum of the two numbers, then divides this by 2. Okay, so then you store the result into a variable here. Okay, so result, say for example, we store into a variable. Okay, so result, generally when you enter two numbers through keyboard, you will enter different numbers, and the sum may be even or sum may be odd. If the sum is odd, you may get a floating point answer. Okay, so catch that into a double type variable called as a avg. Avg equals to a plus b by 2. This is how we construct the statement. Okay, so then it adds the two numbers and divides it with the 2. Okay, so what happens, we'll see. Now we calculated average of these two numbers. Now we'll print the result onto the screen. Say system dot out dot println. Okay, so now we say average. Okay, so if you want to print the two numbers also, then you can print the message like this: average of then say plus a and plus a and plus b. It is nothing but how you are getting the message average of 10 and 20, like that. Okay, so 10 and 20 is some message. If you want to print, say is. Okay, so then here you print the result. So where is the result? In a variable called as avg. Okay, right? So then close the main method, then close the class. This is how we can use a scanner class to read two integers, and then we calculated average of those two numbers and printed the result. So let us save this. We'll save with a class name average two numbers. So let me save this. I'm saving this with the same name. So within the double quotes, you say average two numbers dot Java, and make the type as all types. Okay, then say click on save. Your program will be saved with the .java extension. Okay, so what to do next? We need to compile the program. So for this, what we need to do? We need to open the command prompt. So in the starter, you type cmd. Just press enter, then it opens your command prompt. Okay, so here, where is your program? I have saved my program in a E drive. So go back to E drive. Okay, so where is, in which directory? Java programs. Go back to your directory in which you have saved your Java program. Okay, so now compile your program. So Java C. What is our class name? Average two numbers. Yes or no? So say average two numbers dot Java. Now your program is being compiled. So there is an error here. Okay, yeah, sorry. So I have entered these extra two numbers now. So because of these two numbers, it is giving error. Now let us remove those two numbers, because just for example, I have included there. Right. So let us save the program. Again, we'll compile. See here, it is showing error at 10. Okay, so that means this is not a valid statement. Yes or no? So error not a statement, it is showing here. Just see here. That means this extra two numbers, because of these two numbers, we are getting this error here. Okay, so remove those two numbers again. Compile, right? Your program compiled successfully. Now run the code. Now run the code. Okay, so Java average numbers, average two numbers. Okay, now see, it is asking enter two numbers. Okay, so now I enter 10 and 20. Give a space between two numbers. Now you can see average of 10 and 20 is 15.0. Okay, because I have calculated and stored the result into a double type variable, and I'm printing the double type variable. That's why I got here 15.0. Okay, so let us enter two numbers whose average, whose sum becomes an odd number. Okay, so let us run the code again. Let me clear the screen first. Right, so again I'm executing the program. Enter two numbers. Okay, so this time what I do is I enter two numbers 7 and 8 so that the sum becomes odd. Then what is the result printed, we'll see here. So average of 7 and 8 is 7.0. What is the average? Actually 7 plus 8 is 15/2. 15/2 is 7.5 we should get. Okay, so we have stored the result in a double type variable. Okay, but still it has calculated, it has printed the result as a 7.0 only. We won't, we have not getting 7.5 here. Okay, so oops, what happened? There is some logical mistake in our program. Okay, so this we need to correct here. Okay, so pause the video and just check out what might be the error here. Okay, so to get a floating point number and result as 7.5. Okay, so what is the logic error we are making mistake in this program? Just pause the video and find out yourself. Right, friends, if we look into the output from this program, the input is 7 and 8, two numbers, and average of 7 and 8 is 7.0. So it is printing the average as 7.0 instead of 7.5. We are expecting, our expectation is the program to print the average as 7.5, but here it is printing 7.0. Why? This we need to understand here. Okay, so now go back to our program. Now which statement is doing that calculation? Go to that statement here. Okay, so what is happening here? We declared a variable average of which type? Double type. Okay, well and good. Then a plus b by 2 we are saying. Okay, so a plus b enclosed in parenthesis. Now let us substitute these values. What happens? Let us see here. Okay, so a plus b, a value is 7 and b value is 8. Okay, so we are expecting it to do the calculation in this way. 7 plus 8 by 2. Okay, so 7 plus 8 is 15/2, and we are expecting the result as a 7.5, and this 7.5 has to be stored in a average. Okay, but our expectation is not matching with the answer here. Okay, so that means there is some logic involved in this. Okay, so what is that we need to understand here. Now if you look into this division operator here, division arithmetic operator. Okay, so in arithmetic operators video we discussed that when the two operands for this division operator, if the two operands are integers, then the return value is also integer. Then the return value is also integer. Okay, so that means 15/2, it performs the calculation. Okay, so then it returns a value of 7 here, not 7.5. It returns a value of 7. Okay, so it performs a integer division here. Integer division means this decimal part is truncated. This 0.5 is truncated, and the division operator returns only the integer part, and that integer part is nothing but 7. Okay, so that is what happening here. That is how the computer is performing this division operation here. Okay, so 7 is written here, and this 7 will be stored into a variable called as average. But average is of which type? Double type. Okay, so then what it will do is it converts this integer into double, and it stores the result as a 7.0. It stores the result as a 7.0. Okay, so that's why when we print in the system.out.println method, and here we are getting the output as a 7.0. That's why here it shows the average of 7 and 8 is 7.0. Okay, so then what we need to do to get the result as a 7.5, that means it has to perform the floating point division. Okay, so to make this to perform a floating point division, okay, so what we need to do is one of the operands must be a floating point type number or double type number. Okay, so to do that, what we can do is simply we can, instead of 2, we can write it as 2.0. We can write it as 2.0. Okay, so then what it will do, now see how internally the calculation is performed. So 7 plus 8, these are integers only, divided by 2.0. It calculates. Okay, so 7 plus 5 is 15 divided by 2.0. Okay, now here, now it checks a compatibility of the two operands here. Okay, so one operand is floating point type or double type, and other operand is integer type. So then what it does is it converts the smaller data type to higher data type. Here double is considered to be higher data type than integer type. Okay, so then this integer type will be converted to double type. So 15.0 divided by 2.0. Internally, it assumes the two operands in this way. Okay, so that means it converts 15 into the double type, and then it makes 15 as 15.0 by 2.0. Okay, so now the floating point division will be performed, and you will get the result as a 7.5 here, and that 7.5 will be stored in this variable average. Okay, so all this calculation happens internally. This is how the computer performs the calculation or computation, we can say. Okay, so then 7.5 will be stored into this variable average, and when we print this variable average, then it returns 7.5. It returns 7.5. Okay, so let us save this program. Now I modified this to 2.0. Okay, so let us save this program, and again we'll compile the code and we'll execute this code. Let us see whether this time we'll get the correct result or not. Okay, so again I'm compiling the code, then run the code. Now enter the two numbers, say 7 and 8. I entered. Now this time you can see average of 7 and 8 is 7.5. So that means we need to understand how the operators behave, how the calculation is performed, especially when we are using division operator. You should be very careful. You should be very careful. Okay, so what kind of division it will perform based on the type of operands. Then accordingly it gives the result. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Like, sir, if in the place of
So friends, hope you understand what is happening, how the calculation is performed internally, especially with the division operator, and why we are getting the result as 7.0. Okay, hope it is clear. Now, when you make one of the operand as a floating point type, then you will also get the result as a floating point number. Okay, so then you will get the expected result here. Okay, so you may be thinking that if we enter the A and B values as a floating point numbers, okay, so without making this 2 to 2.0, in such case we may get a floating point number. Okay, so let us just check out what is happening in such case. For example, if I run the program again, if I say enter 7.5 and 8.5, now just see here what is happening here. Okay, so exception in thread main, input mismatch exception. This is very, very important. These exceptions you should understand to get more command over Java language. Okay, so each exception has its own meaning, and you should know why we are getting this exception. Here, just check out here, java.util.input mismatch exception. That means your input is mismatching. Okay, why it is mismatching? Just see here. Now see, when you enter the input as 7.5, 8.5 here. Okay, but you are reading the first number using next int method. You are reading by using next int method. Okay, so this next int method expects an integer number, but your input is a floating point number, which is not matching with that. Okay, so that's why it is giving input mismatch error or input mismatch exception. Okay, so it is expecting an integer and you supplied a floating point number. Then Java cannot read. You may be expecting that it reads 7 into A and 8 into B. No. Your input is not expected by the program. Okay, so in such case, we'll get this input mismatch exception. Okay, so that's why you need to supply. If you want to supply floating point numbers or double type numbers, you should change the data type of this A and B to double type. In such case, it reads. Okay, so let us make a change here, double, and here integer type, I remove this to double, and in such case, you need to change this method also. Okay, otherwise again you will get a error there. Okay, so let us just check out. You declared a variable A as double type and you are trying to read using next int. Okay, so what happens? Let us just quickly look into the program. Let me compile the code again. Then let me run the code, enter two numbers. Okay, say 7.5 and say 8, I enter. Now again see here. So input mismatch exception. So what happens here? The next int method expects an integer and input supplied is a double type number or floating point number. So immediately it raises an exception here. Okay, so to overcome this, here you should use the correct method here. So you should call the next double method. Next double. Then say next double. Now it reads your data correctly. In such case, see here the numerator becomes a double type. In such case, no need of writing this denominator as a 2.0. Even if you write 2.0, that is well and good. And it's a good practice actually. Okay, so 2.0. And if one of the operands is double type, automatically result will be double type here. Okay, so let us just save this program. Again, let me compile the code.
Sir, we have an error over there, sir.
Yeah, we are getting an error here. Say double B is equal to sc dot next double cannot find symbol. Yeah.
T will not mention T.
Yeah, next double is nex double it has displayed. Okay, so that's why we got error. So this is how we can learn or we can do error correction, debugging skills we can improve. Save the program, then again compile, right. So then run the code again. So enter two numbers 7.5 and 8.5. I enter. Now see average of 7.5 and 8.5 is 8.0. Okay, so it is 15 plus 1, 16. 16 by 2 is 8.0. We will get here. Now your program reads the data correctly. So when we read the data from the keyboard, we should be very careful using the correct method when we are using this scanner class. So this is an example program to calculate average of two numbers using next int method we have seen, and the next double method also we can use. Like this, we can use the methods to read appropriate data from the keyboard. Friends, if you like this video, please do subscribe to my channel and like the video. Do share this video with your friends. And we'll go back to our PPT. Yes, examples we have seen. Okay, right? Now, this is the stuff to make your hands dirty. Whenever you learn some concepts in any programming language, you should do hands-on practice. I always say, make your hands dirty. So this is some stuff to make your hands dirty. Find the area and circumference of a circle. Find the area and perimeter of a rectangle. Calculate simple interest. Find the gross salary of an employee by reading his basic salary, house rent allowance, dearness allowance. These three you can read. Okay, so then adding these three, you know how HRA, DA, and TA are calculated. Okay, so you can take HRA as 10%, DA as some 70-80%, and TA as some 20%. You can assume, or you can directly enter the values for that, and you can calculate gross salary. Okay, so it is up to you how you enter those values. And average of 3 numbers. So we have discussed average of 2 numbers. Now you extend that program to average of 3 numbers. So this is some stuff to make your hands dirty. Please don't forget to make your hands dirty. Then only you will get all the concepts. And there is another program, convert temperature Celsius into Fahrenheit. Okay, so in all these programs, what you need to do, read required data from keyboard. Then only you can use the scanner class, and you will get a hands-on experience of a scanner class using the scanner class. And in this video, I have some food for your brain. And please share your answers in comment section for all these questions which are asked in food for brain. Which of these statements is correct in Java? If you are not sure of these values, please once again watch the appropriate video, corresponding video you watch, get the concepts, and then try to answer these, and please send your answers in comment section. We will verify all your answers and we will reply to your answers. Which of these statements is correct in Java? True and false are numeric values 1 and 0. True and false are numeric values 0 and 1. True is any non-zero value and false is 0. True and false true and false are non-numeric values. True and false are non-numeric values. Send your answers in comment section. And we have another question. This is second stuff. What will be the output of the following Java code? See, there is a class, relational operators, public static void main I have included. Okay, so then we are declaring 2 variables here, v1, v2 with some values. Then we are printing some relational operation we are using. What is the output from this program? Send your answer in comment section. And if you like this video, do subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like the video and share with your friends. Thank you.